Even when a woman seems inescapable, surrounded by options and applause, there's a dark spot no one else sees: the impact of your silence. The man who chooses not to insist, not to chase, not to fill the void with messages, creates more questions in her mind than any grand speech ever could. True silence, the kind born of self-control, not pride, provides a vantage point for both her and for you. If this topic resonates with you, share in the comments a real-life situation where your stillness brought you clarity. Your story can strengthen others who are experiencing something similar right now. Before we move on, a direct request. If the content on our channel, Black Pill Femme, about masculine power has made a difference in your journey, subscribe now so you don't miss our next reflections. This simple action keeps alive a community of men committed to emotional intelligence, discipline, and self-respect. When a woman realizes you've said goodbye, 8 internal shifts typically occur, sometimes subtly, sometimes like a wake-up call. The feeling of rejection. The first is the feeling of rejection. How we react to it is a whole spectrum, and within that spectrum lies the power of choosing with dignity. When you choose silence to protect your peace and not to punish, you create space for both of you to see each other more clearly. The fear of loss. The second shift is the fear of loss. After the initial impact, her mind concocts scenarios. What if he doesn't come back? What if I let go of someone who was truly good? Understand that we often don't mourn the person, but rather the projection we made of them. What leaves and what slips through our fingers tends to take on a special glow in our memory. It's at this point that she mentally revisits the good times, the qualities she might not have valued. An urge to regain you emerges, which, if not accompanied by responsibility and real change, is short-lived. Once she feels she has you back, she may revert to her old habits. Therefore, your discipline is what guides your life, not the fluctuating desires of others. The rise of curiosity. The third shift is a focused curiosity. Faced with your silence, her mind seeks explanations. Is he with someone else? Did I do something wrong? What changed? The search for clues takes hold, from looking at who you follow to checking for small changes in your posts. It's important to remember that curiosity isn't a synonym for desire. It's usually the ego seeking answers, not the heart asking for your presence. If she reappears with questions, don't immediately assume it's true interest. It might just be her mind trying to regain control of the narrative. Doubt about her own value. The fourth shift is doubt about her own value. In a culture where many men seek validation at any cost, being ignored by someone destabilizes expectations. Why did he leave? Her self-esteem, sensitive to signals of acceptance and rejection, is confronted with an uncomfortable truth: your attention carries weight. When you give it without measure, it becomes cheap. When you withdraw it with purpose and self-respect, it reveals that it was always valuable. Your silence here isn't punishment, it's a reminder. My time has criteria, my heart has standards, my energy has purpose. If you live in a state of need, begging for attention, any little bit of it feels like a feast. Need distorts perception and turns ordinary people into ideals. The work, therefore, is internal. A strong identity, solid values, and a routine that supports your mind and body. This makes silence stop being a desperate plea and start being a conscious choice. The silent monitoring. The fifth shift is silent monitoring. She may stop talking to you, but she watches your stories, revisits your profile, asks friends for information, sometimes even follows you indirectly. This attention, however, is not a synonym for a desire to return. Watching does not mean wanting you back. Sometimes it just means she's measuring her own influence, checking if you're still within her orbit. Don't confuse monitoring with genuine affection. You've done this, too. You looked at the past not out of love, but out of the habit of checking if you could still push an old button. Recognizing this pattern is key to preserving your emotional sanity. Internal conflict. The sixth shift is internal conflict. Faced with the void your silence creates, she can go down one of two paths. In one, she recognizes her mistakes, takes responsibility, and proposes a new beginning. In the other, she doubles down, convinced that you are the problem, feeling a certain relief that she has escaped your control. This emotional distance often reveals that the relationship was sustained by expectations rather than by genuine presence. The hardest part for you is to discern if what you feel is genuine love or just an attempt to fill an old void. Clarity comes from time, routine, self-care, and purpose. When your life revolves around real goals, you don't lose your grounding when a conversation ends. The testing phase. The seventh shift is the testing phase. If your silence is bothering her, she may try to regain control of the dynamic. She might start conversations only to cut them short, leave messages unanswered, and react ambiguously to your posts. This is an invitation to get emotionally tangled. A healthy distance turns into an emotional battle if you're not grounded in your principles. Superficial relationships are just noise. The conscious man prefers a calm presence. Tests lose their power when faced with a consistent stance. You responded respectfully, kept your schedule, didn't lose your composure, and didn't compete for attention. You are in the right place. Controlling the narrative. The eighth shift is her attempt to control the narrative. Not understanding your true motivation, she may interpret your silence as manipulation and react passively aggressively, initiating contact, then pulling away, appearing when she sees you at peace, trying to destabilize you. This is the danger, returning to a toxic cycle you were trying to break free from. Discipline is freedom. The silence of discipline keeps your boundaries firm, preserves your focus and self-esteem, and prevents an emotional relapse from undoing your progress. A sincere invitation. If these ideas are empowering you, like this video now. It may seem small, but it helps the algorithm bring this content to more men who need to learn how to stand up for themselves without violence or submissiveness. I want to extend a sincere, intimate invitation to you. If you want to support this work more deeply, click on the first pinned comment. There's a link to our ebook, which contains important information that I can't post here on YouTube, as the rules don't allow for an in-depth, logical, and direct discussion. For only $19, you will learn how to deal with the games that women play, a guide so that you don't get fooled by them. You will have access to unique and very important material. It's a way to support the project and, at the same time, accelerate your development with practical materials and deeper conversations. Final reminders. Finally, a reminder of what separates men from boys. It's not about provoking reactions, but about protecting your integrity. Silence is only virtuous when it comes from self-knowledge, not fear or a set of rules. When you remain silent to listen to yourself, you're not running away, you're choosing what is worthy of your voice. Now, let's organize everything into a clear map for you to apply in your daily life without falling into emotional traps. Observe slowly. Allow time to reveal what anxiety hides. If she feels rejection, curiosity, and fear of loss, this is not a trophy for your ego. It's a sign that boundaries have been communicated. Your role is not to teach a lesson, but to respect your own rules. Men who master their own rhythm don't rush, they walk. They don't ask for permission to exist, they take responsibility and move forward. Interpret signals without romanticizing. If she comes back with questions, investigate the content. Is it true responsibility or just a desire for control? A concrete proposal for change or just a fleeting need for attention? A mere, hey, is not a sign of real change. A woman committed to the truth doesn't operate in ambiguity for long. When the connection is real, communication grows. When it's a game, it falls apart. Your key metric is consistency, not intensity. Intensity confuses, consistency confirms. Maintain your routine. Treat your routine like a sanctuary. Training, work, health, study, spirituality, sleep, nutrition, and goals. This isn't an escape, it's structure. Structure keeps your mind grounded when emotions try to compromise your principles. When your schedule is solid, you don't break promises to yourself to satisfy others. There is beauty in being predictable to yourself, someone who does what they decided to do, even when no one is watching. Don't prove anything. The need to prove your value is the fastest shortcut to being disrespected. Those who try to convince others of their worth reveal their own insecurity. Those who live their lives with coherence project value without ever having to announce it. If someone wants to walk alongside you, they will see it. If they don't, they will see that, too. Silence here is an elegance that needs no justification. It's the pause that prevents an emotion from becoming a mistake. Re-evaluate the story you tell yourself. Sometimes the narrative is self-serving, just the voice of need dressed up as a romance novel. Tell yourself this truth: I am a man of value. I lead a life that honors who I am. Relationships are choices, not rescues. When this truth takes hold, desire stops being a command and becomes a conviction. You stop depending on someone else to feel whole. Learn the difference between closing a chapter and slamming the door. Closing a chapter means having an honest conversation, acknowledging what happened, thanking the person for the good times, ending with respect, and moving on. Slamming the door means leaving bitterness, justifying yourself, blaming others, and creating noise. The first path elevates, the second diminishes. The silence that heals is active, compassionate, and responsible. You remove yourself from the game without abandoning your humanity. Don't turn her into a villain. There are cases where no one is a monster. There was just a misalignment of values, timing, or maturity. The masculine strength we seek here isn't the kind that roars on the outside and crumbles on the inside. It's the kind that recognizes its limits and makes lucid decisions. Dignified solitude is preferable to company that takes a toll on your soul. If you return, treat it as something new. If they return responsibly, propose rules that protect both of you, clear communication, practical boundaries, and a realistic pace. If they return with tests and ambiguity, don't negotiate your peace. The freedom you've gained cannot be compromised. A good relationship requires truth and a solid foundation. Silence defines boundaries. Talking too much, declaring your feelings too early, revealing your whole life story without building trust, all of this gives the other person a power they haven't matured enough to receive. The mystery here is not manipulation, it's respect for the natural timing of things. True connection appreciates the process. When you remain calm, centered, and consistent with your rituals, the other person's imagination works in your favor. Emotional predictability kills interest. A serene presence maintains charm. Practice these 3 stoic postures in your daily life. Control yourself, not the other person. Your reactions are your responsibility. The other person's reactions are lessons, not commands. Prepare for the extremes. If they move farther away, you won't fall apart. If they get closer, you won't lose yourself. You've already decided who you are before the invitation even comes. Use silence as a reading tool. When you don't rush to fill the void, the subtext becomes apparent. Those who want to be clear will be clear. Those who play games will become obvious. Those who aren't ready will reveal themselves. Remember, the greatest proof of self-love is not selling yourself short. Your time, your attention, and your heart are finite resources. Those who want to walk with you must understand the honor of being welcomed into this territory. You don't have to be hard to get, you have to be whole. When in doubt, choose what preserves your long-term peace. Desperation buys short-term relief and sells your soul in the end. If you felt that this content gave you real tools, subscribe to Masculine Power now. Here, it's man-to-man talk about respect, discipline, self-confidence, and inner strength. And if you want to support this work more deeply, click to become a member and receive exclusive content and materials that deepen these ideas and transform reflection into daily practice. I want to leave you with a simple exercise for the next week. Every time you feel the urge to send a message to alleviate your anxiety, stop, breathe, and write to yourself, does this still make sense? If so, call clearly. If not, focus on strengthening your foundation, your body, your mind, and your purpose. In the end, you'll discover that the silence that heals the most isn't the one she hears, it's the one you hold within. If you felt that this content gave you real tools, like it now and share your experience in the comments. A story of separation that opened your eyes, a boundary you set that changed your life, no, that freed your future. Your vulnerability can be the courage another man needs today. And to continue receiving content that elevates your worldview and the quality of your relationships, subscribe and activate notifications. We move together with serenity and purpose, making silence a force that protects, filters, and educates the heart. Forward, warriors. I'll see you in the next video.